It's Friend of a Friend City. I'm Heather, and I'm here to meet some friends of friends. Now, we have two guests today. We have Aaron, who is a scientist.
Oh, g'day, mate. Yeah.
Hi, Aaron. Nice to meet you. And we have our second guest today, who is George. And we're going to start with you, George, today. Now, you said you're a hunter?
Yeah, that's right, mate.
So, let's, where do you go hunting? What do you hunt?
Well, I just moved here from Goonborough. So typically over there, I people have kind of a dirty idea of what a hunter is, but I only hunt invasive species, right? I'm a bit of an ecologist. So I would hunt things like deer. They're quite invasive. Cane toads, I set up traps for them. Rabbits. The Indian minor birds are actually quite invasive and dangerous to other birds. Feral cats. Now that I've moved to the city, I'm hunting a lot more feral cats. There's a lot of them everywhere. Humans, I think that's.
I am gonna. I'm glad that's the end of your list because I am gonna have to ask some questions about. You mentioned you're hunting humans. First, you mentioned humans amongst a list of invasive species.
Well,
now that's
true,
interesting in itself.
Well, it's absolutely true. You know, if you know anything about the history of the world, in the history of our country, Australia, right, humans are an invasive species, right? Hundreds of thousands of years ago, potentially millions of years ago, right, humans migrated to Australia. They did not originate here. This was a long, long time ago, right? And before they migrated, there were actually megafauna. And this is true. There were megafauna, giant kangaroos, giant wombats. This is 100% true. Giant creatures, and humans came in and they slaughtered them all for their yummy, yummy meat. And that was the end of that. And that's why there's no giant wombats wandering around anymore.
So, George, you're raising a fair few ethical conundrums around this idea that humans are invasive species, and yet you are one. Firstly, you've really honed in on megafauna. Do you have a dream that megafauna exist in the world today?
Look, I am a bit of a realist, so I acknowledge that, yes, they did go extinct, potentially millions of years ago. I think that's a crying shame. I would have loved to ride on the back of a giant kangaroo. You know how some dumb Yanks think that, like, you know, all Aussies commute to work on the back of a kangaroo. I have a dream where that is a reality.
George, I don't want to poke holes in your whole thing, but I've just got to ask. So I'm assuming you've mentioned invasive species. Now, things like kangaroo, deer, there'll often be government culling programs for these.
Yes.
To reduce their numbers, not completely eradicate. Now, how are you... you're hunting humans.
Yes.
Is this in some sort of program, or is this a culling program that you have yourself come up with?
Well, program is kind of a rich way to describe it. I simply set up traps. I simply, if I've had a few drinks in me, I might go out into the town with a bow and arrow.
Now, I have heard stories about this elusive person. Now, I am fascinated by how you've come in to have a chat about this today. There has been multiple news stories about the bow and arrow man in the middle of town.
Fantastic.
You're happy with the publicity?
Well, I don't mind it. I mean, if people know what I'm about, then maybe some other people might join in. I have heard some rumblings, some people calling me, an urban hero. Some people think I'm a vigilante, perhaps like hunting down the rich and powerful elites, and that's simply not true.
I had really hoped there had been some kind of that you had some kind of moral code here around.
I do not discriminate.
It seems like you're an abominable person. I hate to say it.
Mate, ask the birds. They love me. Right? The birds have been thriving in Brisbane.
Because you've been catching feral cats.
Yes, and humans.
Now, I just have to ask, it's morbid curiosity. You said you're trapping humans. Can you talk us through your process there on what typically with a trap, my understanding, you need
Bear
a
trap.
lure, you need a bait.
Bear trap. Mate, look, most people these days, especially the youngins, they're so oblivious to anything that's happening around them. You know, they're walking around, they're scrolling on their phones or whatever. They cross the street, they don't see there's a bear trap on the crosswalk. They get stuck in the bear trap and bam, bus hits them. That's my job done.
This is making some more sense in terms of how you're a free man right now. In that, are you making use of public transport as a means of capital punishment to avoid your straight culpability for these?
Oh, look, I will admit, in the public eye and as far as the law is concerned, I am a murderer.
Yes,
I don't see it that way. You called me a free man. I am not free in the sense that I am burdened by my mission.
And your mission being that you want to ride on the back of megafauna.
Well, that's just a dream, you know. I'm out here to perhaps avenge them, to kind of cull the herd a little bit and hope that maybe down the line some Australia's natural beautiful ecology will flourish once again.
Now, I've got to ask, you said you don't discriminate about who you hunt in terms of humans. Have you ever hunted someone you did know or you did actually like?
Yeah. So Sandra from the PTA, that was a one-off, and after I did that, I came home and I had a good think about it. Because my little boy George Jr., he was getting bullied at school, and Sandra was the mother of one of the bullies, and it was a whole thing. And I fully admit I got emotional, I got carried away, and that was kind of a big moment for me where I sat in my men's shed with a candle lit, and I put my hand up to my personal Bible, which is a Birds of Australia encyclopedia, and I swore never again.
I am at least glad that you have found some clarity in the way you undertake your operations, but that doesn't discount the fact that I am definitely reporting you to the authorities directly after this. But we have to move on to our next guest. You can hang around while we talk to them,
sure.
right?
I got all day.
Okay. You will have all day and probably all your life, hopefully, in a prison cell. I'd love to move on to our second guest today. Now, your name is Aaron. You're introduced me from Belinda, and you're a scientist.
Yeah. Scientist. I've got my let's just say, Heather, I've got my dream job. Moved to Brisbane, and look, dream jobs don't come for free. So I did move here from down south, Wangaratta near Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
I did leave the love of my life behind. We were engaged. She did not want to move to Brisbane with me, so I came alone because of a dream job, because of calling. So Brisbane is a manufacturing hub.
So can you tell? I would like to dig in. What is your career? What are you focused in on?
Oh, so it's per my bio that I did send through, and it was quite comprehensive, 5 lines. I am a hair tie scientist. Some people do say hairband, but I actually think that tie is more encompassing for what I do. So I'm a hair tie scientist.
Hair tie. So you're talking about what you keep hair up with or keep out of your face?
Yes. Well, so no. Not all of them. No hair clips, no hair claws, hair ties. So that might be bands come under hair ties. So do ribbons. So it's just anything that really goes around the hair, but not the claws, not the clips. So it's not actually it's not a hair prevention.
So you found your dream job in hair tie science in Brisbane.
Yes.
And you mentioned you left the love of your life.
Yes.
In Wangaratta.
Yes. Well, so Melbourne, there's no jobs down there. Not for scientists like me. So mate, I had to leave her behind. Her name was Charlene. So I had to leave Charlene behind. And look, if I'd stayed in Melbourne, I would have been unfulfilled, but I also wouldn't have been able to give Charlene the life she wanted. So we had this small house, small brick house, three bedrooms. She wanted an open plan. Sorry. She wanted she wanted.
You're getting emotional thinking about it, aren't you?
So look, there was a kitchen and there was a living room, and Charlene wanted it to be open plan, but we were going to have to change the support beam in the room. And so, these things cost money. I can't do that by myself because I'm a scientist. I do work with materials, but they're quite small and quite delicate. I can't work with a support beam in a room.
You're not in construction.
No, don't tell anyone I'm in construction because I'm not. I construct things, but they're small, Heather, small. So, Charlene. Sorry.
It's an emotional topic, it seems like to you. Just bring that mic a little closer to your mouth.
I can't talk about support beams without. Just sometimes I wish I'd gone for something a bit more, because I use my hands in my work, but I build things. My muscles aren't that big. So I just can't do the support. It's something about support beams. Anyway, sorry, I'll get on with it.
We can move on from this topic.
Wanted an open plan living dining kitchen and I couldn't give her that. Okay, I couldn't give Charlene that, and I needed a well-paying job. Nothing in Melbourne for a hair tie scientist, so I had to move to Brisbane. And Heather, it's emotional, but I made the right choice.
I'm happy for you that you made the right choice. What does one of your hair ties go for on the market these days?
Oh, well, I'm not sure if you know, but actually there's quite a range of hair ties on the market, Heather. I'm not sure what you have in your hair at the moment. I can see it's tied up, and I'm wondering with what.
It's just a classic elastic.
So we can make those for, 20 cents a piece, but they do go on the shelf. I would guess you probably bought that in a pack of 5 for about $1.50 each. So you are actually going for a $7.50 little pack there, I would just assume. If you do buy that in a 20 pack, the cost price goes down to $1.20. So, you buy bulk, you get bulk. You get? Yeah. So there's just quite an art to how we price those, but they're just, run of the mill. No offense. I bet you bought it in like a Woolworths or a Coles, just something over the counter. You can get some upper market materials. So we do these really lovely nylon pieces. I have some, there are some people wearing them at the Olympics. You'll see they're streamlined and boy, are they functional. They help them run, Heather. But my real specialty is for the surfers, which is why I've come up here, Heather, why there's such a burgeoning business. So
tell me about why the surfers, what do they need?
Polyester in there so that they dry quick. So their hair might not dry quick, but their hair ties, boy, did they dry quick. And there's both, these are, unisex, male, female, both types of surfers, all types of surfers. Anyone that surfs wants to tie their hair up, these are the go-to. And because so you can buy them on the shelf generic, no surf brand on them, for, $6.50 a band. But if we put the surfing brand on there, if we market them directly to surfers, $11.50. Think about that, $11.50.
Yeah.
$11.50 for a hair tie.
I'm going to pause you right there. It seems like you love talking about the economics of the hair tie industry.
Yes, I do.
You love, are you making money personally? Do you own the business?
No, I'm just a scientist. I don't even do the manufacturing. I do the
What do you do?
Oh, no, the research behind what materials we should put in each hair tie.
Right.
So someone, and it might have been me, I just don't know what brand you purchased, someone thought about the materials that would have gone in there for everyday use. So that someone like you could pick that up really easily and not have to think about it. But all I'm saying is, Heather, someone's thought about it before it got to you.
Can I just ask? I'm sorry, I just got a little bit caught up. I'm still caught up on the surface thing. What is the point of having a dry hairband if your hair is wet?
Well, because it's one less wet thing you're dealing with. There's some real prize there.
Is this a problem surfers have?
Yes. Can you not see that if you had wet hair, wouldn't you prefer it if just one less thing on your head was wet? Can you not see the issue that these surfers are dealing with every day? One less wet hair tie is actually a lot for them. I hear that many of them don't like water. So we're really going for them. You don't like water? Buy this band.
So your research is saying that there's surfers that don't like water.
Yes. Yeah, we've done a lot of market research and there are some surfers out there that don't like water. I mean, I bet for your friend George, or friend of friend, whatever, I bet that there is something
They are
that
not
George...
my friend. Thank you for clarifying.
Sorry.
that.
Well, I bet there's something that George doesn't like about his job and that maybe a hair tie could help to fix. So, George, what do you not like about your job? And I'll fix it.
The cleanup.
Well, honestly, I can help with that because you know what? Hair ties actually more durable than rubber bands. So I'm betting that George is putting some bodies in in some plastic bags and tying them up.
You are looking at my head, right? I am bald.
No. I think you've missed the opportunity.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm saying when you're putting, so some people, you might be cooking. You might use some walnuts and you might decide that you're not going to use all the walnuts in the packet and you tie them up with a rubber band. I'm trying to shift the world to say, no, use a hair tie. Because rubber bands snap. And I'm saying...
Is it more environmentally friendly than a rubber band?
Well, I haven't done the research on that because I don't use rubber because it's not good.
Are you not a researcher?
Oh, no, I am. But I'm not incorporating rubber as a comparator into my research.
So
rubber isn't good for hair, George. Rubber is
You brought up rubber bands as an example.
No. I'm just saying, not for the environmentally friendly stuff. Because no one in their right mind would put rubber bands in their hair. We've done it when we were kids. Everyone's done it. But no one that ties up their hair is going to put a rubber band there, George.
I've been bald since I was 8.
8?
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Because that's not the hair research we see. I know a lot about hair and that is premature.
It's by choice for aerodynamics.
Oh, see, so you can understand how a surfer might want aerodynamics. You understand, George?
I'm just going to ask George about this quickly. At 8 years old, why were you wanting to be so aerodynamic?
Well, at the time I was trying to ride a kangaroo. I was quite smaller, so to me it was a megafauna kangaroo.
Because you were small. That sounds perfect. Yes.
It was surprisingly difficult, and so I thought maybe aerodynamics would help my... I had luscious long locks before that age, and they flacked quite a bit of wind resistance.
So the research wasn't there at the time, was it, mate? Was it? The research wasn't there to give an aerodynamic option for a hair tie. And if it had, George would have been able to keep his locks. Honestly, these are the stories we need out there in the research. You could have kept your locks. We could have helped you with that.
Wow.
If I'd been around designing hair ties, I would have done maybe a special one for you.
So... I'll just go back a little bit to your living situation, Aaron.
Yeah.
Do you like living in Brisbane? And what is the layout of your house?
Look, so I put up with Brisbane because my dream job is here, mate, as you understand. Mm-hmm. Mate, we get it. We sacrifice. But one thing that was a must, so I currently have a studio apartment because I just, honestly, the thought of any type of beam or wall in a house that I have to think about, so Charlene's got a new partner and I just, anytime I think about a wall, I think about Charlene. and I can deal with walls around the perimeter of my house, but not anything I'd have to knock down to have an open plan living situation. So I just have a studio and I'm happy. There's no walls.
Do you get nervous walking past bridges?
Well, it depends which bridge, because there are some with support beams and some without.
You should be nervous walking past bridges because I've put quite a few bear traps under most of them.
Under?
Yeah.
Under
so just
bridges?
Watch, yeah.
But who walks under bridges on the water?
Heathens.
In which case, they probably deserve to die. So that's fine. I'm fine with... If someone can walk on water, that's not natural, and I don't back that in science. So put them in the bear trap. I actually think that's a very noble cause. Thank you. Honestly...
Is it okay, Heather?
If someone's being able to have... And if you could do something about the support beams under those bridges too, I'd be greatly appreciated, because I can't look at them.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. That's
not
fine.
my area of expertise.
I understand that. Sorry, I didn't.
You're
mean to
not a
cry.
builder. I'm not a builder either. You know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Not every bloke is a builder.
Well, I know that because
It's a
I'm
stereotype.
not one. No, well, I'm very well aware. Just like to say, Charlene's new boy, also not a builder, and I'm grateful for that.
She's got a new boy. You say boy?
Well, sorry, he is a man. I think he's mid-40s, like myself,
wow.
maybe ourselves. I'm not sure how old you are.
How old are you, George?
Oh, I'm about 63.
You're about 63. Okay.
Do you have a little boy? George
you have
Jr.
George Jr. too.
How old is George
Does that mean
Jr.?
you have a partner and do you live with?
Because George Jr. is at school.
George Jr. is at school, yeah.
Yeah, so when did you have George Jr.?
About 12 years ago. He's 12.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And does George Jr. still have locks? Because I can help him out.
He does still have beautiful locks. I'm trying to give him the easiest life possible. So, I'm not involving him in my business or anything like that. But
You could take home some hair ties for George Jr.
perhaps I will.
I've got
as long
some
as they're environmentally friendly.
No,
What are they made out of?
So these ones are actually made out of the materials that you would usually make socks out of.
Wow, you just pulled out
Cotton.
a whole sample pack of hair ties there.
I carry them with
cotton?
me. Yeah, the old socks.
You know where cotton comes from?
Well, but these came from socks.
I was thinking of wool, actually.
Oh,
I was thinking of wool that comes from sheep, but I got that mixed up with cotton.
you did. Cotton's.
Well, you
I
have
get
to-
confused sometimes.
These are very. Can I just hand them
I was
to you?
about to say that cotton comes from sheep.
It does.
That is not true. Apologies. I get confused in my old age.
Just has one of these confusions ever led you to maybe your potential, your current career choice? That is there some sort of misinterpretation that extinction can maybe be reversed through culling?
Look, you've mistaken my dream for a pipe dream. I don't think that culling will magically bring back the megafauna. The changes I plan on implementing will take course over the next few million years.
Well, so I just actually wanted, because I obviously did 3 university degrees to get to where I am, and I did take some biology subjects. It was actually my understanding that megafauna, it's not my area, but I did do a semester on megafauna.
We appreciate the information.
And I actually thought it was the megafauna, because they're so big, they actually couldn't get enough nutrition to sustain themselves. So I didn't think it was
bullshit.
man-made.
They could get plenty of nutrition wherever they
from
want.
where? Because my understanding was that's why they were bred out.
There was bigger grass
there was big. Oh,
for the kangaroos to eat.
it's interesting because that just wasn't part of the university subject. But maybe that's a
Are you
flaw.
sure about
But
this, George? Aaron is a very learned man, and
I did do
so
a
am I.
whole. I did do a whole semester on megafauna.
you assume because I'm from the country that I'm not a learned man.
I'm just saying that Aaron may have access to research that maybe hasn't come across your desk.
Can you tell us what modules did you take on megafauna to make these assumptions that it was human caused? Because I just distinctly remember that it's actually a lack of nutrition for the size of beasts that they were. Just what research do you have?
I read the graphic novel Sapiens.
Oh,
It's an anthropology
Yeah.
book.
which is actually quite researched
Yeah.
and quite in depth. So honestly, Yuval Noah Harari, isn't it?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that bloke.
If he said something on megafauna, I think we should believe it. But what did he say on megafauna?
That used to exist and that it was probably humans.
So did he
killed
definitely
them
say,
all.
okay, I'll go back and read it.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised you read Sapiens because even I had trouble getting through it.
Well, I had the graphic novel version. You see.
Okay.
So it had pictures.
Yes, okay. So megafauna, no. Okay. That's really
I
interesting.
see you brought your copy of Sapiens along.
Oh,
Can
I
I have a
did,
little
yeah.
flick through
Yeah, have a little flick.
Are these little caricatures of you being drawn onto the back of some of the megafauna illustrations?
Yeah. Well, that's a bit embarrassing, but no, it's just a man can dream. Yeah.
And have you got to there's 2 characters on that kangaroo. You want it, you and your son, to go on. Is that
Yeah,
You want
is that your
George
son?
Jr. there too?
Yeah, I mean, my son George Jr.
Oh, that's a lovely
That is,
dream.
it is
It's
lovely.
really lovely dream.
But to dial it back to your question before, no, I don't live with a partner. George Jr. is not my son biologically. He was raised by kangaroos.
Keep the name George Jr. if he's not.
Well, I found him.
Oh,
I was kind of just out back as usual, just kind of exploring and integrating myself in with some kangaroo packs, and noticed a small human baby just among their joeys. He was sticking out of one of the kangaroo's pouches, and I thought that's quite odd. How'd he get there? And I took him into my arms, and the kangaroo seemed quite happy. Like, yeah, you take him. He's yours now. And named him George Jr.
mate, that's beautiful. Families are unconventional, and mate, we all have to take love however it comes, mate. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you never put anything in a newsletter, or you didn't contact the police.
Why would I do that?
Well, biologically, I did take a reproduction course at university too.
You've taken a lot of courses, haven't you?
I have done 3
geez.
degrees to get to where I'm. Do you not understand that to become a hair tie scientist, I did have to do a lot of biology.
I didn't understand that before today, no.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it.
What biology is in hair tie science?
Well, it's a foundation of science. Yes, you must do biology. You need to understand human movement.
I thought it was physics and chemistry.
No, and this is why I'm more successful than most, because I understand how people move.
Sorry.
You understand how people move.
Yeah. So I understand and why they might
Like the
need a hair
muscles and
tie.
tendons contracting and...
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is
It
crucial
feels
to
like you're on the same
understand.
wavelength on a lot of things.
That is crucial to understand just how they might need a hair tie, where their hair ties could come into practice.
I don't know how movement relates to hair.
You just said yourself you got rid of your locks because they were getting in the way of your
Okay, that's what
aerodynamicism. You do
all right.
understand this. How is this not obvious to the two of you? Movement.
Can I just ask,
Int-
what is wrong with the default hair tie? Like, what is the problem with that?
Well, so look, I just say it's like any work thing. It just gets 80% of the way there. But for something you're using every day, don't you want it to be 100%?
Look, I would like it. I would like what I use to be 100%.
100% is just holding your hair back. A normal hair tie
No.
does that.
No.
That is, it fulfills
No.
everything you need it to do.
No, 80%. And as surfers tell me, they want...
Shut the fuck
You're
up
all the
about
surfers you've been
surfers.
talking to.
Why is your main target demographic surfers?
They are the global biggest consumers of hair ties. They have the greatest... And boy, did they have the greatest gripes. Have you read a surfer's Reddit recently? Oh,
What's a
mate. Reddit, an online forum and blog for people to complain.
No,
Oh, you don't... Oh, well, I'm sure it would actually be
you didn't have
useful.
the internet in Gandamba?
In Goombra, thank you very
Goombra,
much.
sorry.
No, we didn't have. Well, we did have the internet, but I don't use that sort of thing. We have like a logbook that we pass around the town that everyone kind of writes little notes and posts in, and then
Did anyone write you any little love notes? I'm sure that you would have been quite the catch down in Goombra.
I caught other people.
Oh,
Oh.
not Not a
You
lot.
never-
lot
Again,
You never
because I'm a
caught
hunter.
feelings.
Again, just to remind you, I hunt humans.
No. Oh, I got that. But did you never
Has that
fall in
reduced your
love?
capacity to love?
I think it has. Yeah, I see another person and I just think, pray.
What happens when you see a mirror?
Look, you've dug into something deep here because I do really have some self-loathing issues. It's quite difficult for me to talk about. I tend to just repress my feelings, and I don't know why. Being in this situation, I feel more open than I felt in years, but I repress everything, and geez, that anger boils up inside you, doesn't it?
I know. Yeah, I know a bit about that. Yeah.
Whatever happened to real men?
No, wait, no. We are. And this is. I know a little bit about this. So, well, because I do weightlifting on the side to push through.
No, I'm talking about men who put on bowler hats and canes and sing in barbershop quartets. Whatever happened to that?
Aaron,
Well-
would you consider yourself a real man?
Yes, completely.
Completely.
Because I can do it all. You know,
Except for construction.
Well, hitting a sore spot.
Well, I was actually just about to say, when, when you go to the gym and you're trying to push through, I've got some really good self-talk. I'm currently saying it to myself in my head. And, when you need to just push through, get your muscles to go one extra bit. And I was just going to give you my key to how I push through. And I do one of two things, if I'm just really struggling, which I do sometimes, but I'm getting better. I've got good self-talk. I go, I can lift this roof. And that's what I say to myself in my head when I'm lifting the weights. Or sometimes I say, it's just for me to push through. Sometimes I say it out loud. Sometimes the people next to me, whoa, that man pushing through. And I am. And I'm saying I can lift that roof. So I was going to give that to you as a gift, but you have insulted me. And I'm just going to say I am a real man because I can push through difficult things. I can talk about it. And I said straight up my biggest issue, which is I've sacrificed for my career. Okay? So
Whatever
please.
happened to men doing tap dances? Now, those are real men.
I sell them hair ties.
They're in their heart.
No, I sell those men hair ties. They still exist. I just don't think you're looking for them. I think if you go around with that type of attitude to those men.
Can I find someone on this Reddit you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh.
And you know what? You should just go on the hair tie Reddit because then you meet all types of men and women doing all different types of things, and any person doing different types of things, just struggling through because they don't have the perfect hair tie.
Is there a lot of activity on the hair tie Reddit?
There is insane amounts of activity. That's why I have a job. That's why I have a meaning. But there are people who tap dance, and they're not just looking for other tap dancers, George. They're looking for hair ties to tap dance with. So yeah, if you want to find these people, just go on the hair tie Reddit.
Well, that's about all we have time for today. Sorry to cut it off there. I'd like to finish with one short segment. Now, you're both new to Brisbane, it sounds. You moved from Goombra, moved from Wangaratta.
Yep.
I'd love to find out, what's your favourite thing to do in Brisbane? Do you want to start, Aaron?
Well, it's to go to Goma because I love the exhibits, and one day I hope that there will be a hair tie exhibit there.
That's lovely.
Netherworld's quite nice.
What is
the
that?
arcade bar.
The arcade bar.
Yeah.
And why is... I'm scared to ask why that particular bar is your favourite, George.
I just enjoy playing pinball.
Well, that's a wholesome way to end. Thanks, you both. And
for having us.
thanks for listening to Friend of a Friend City.
Hello, it's Luka here. Thank you so much for having George on the podcast. He is a dear, dear family friend of mine. I've known him since I was little. Did not know about the murders, though. That is wild. So I'm probably going to have to go deal with that now. I was wondering why he asked me to be his alibi. So, yeah, I'm going to have to head off and deal with that. Okay, bye.
Hi Heather, it's Belinda. I'm really glad you got to interview Aaron. Honestly, I don't actually know him that well. We met at a work conference. He mentioned he didn't really like public speaking and was a bit shy and seemed just a little down and out, so I thought it would be a good opportunity. I did sort of pitch it to him as like a science podcast, so I'm so sorry if he went on and on about his work, but I thought it was a really good thing for him to do. So thank you so much. Hope it was okay.